Hi everyone, welcome to the channel or back to the channel. I'm Justin. In this video, we're going to be talking about 10 things you need to know before starting your own solar installation. I've designed this 10 kilowatt system or 9,990 watt system from the beginning to the end. I had a little bit of help from family putting it up on the roof, but we did not pay any professionals to do anything on our solar. I'll give you a hint, we tried, but we couldn't. There is a lot to learn if you're building your own system. There's going to be things you're going to run into that you just probably didn't anticipate. In this video, I'm going to touch base on those. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is talk a little bit about what type of system we have here. We have microinverters on the roof. There's 27 of them. And then from the roof down, we have a combiner box, an AC disconnect. The main service panel is on the other side of this. So everything is coming from that roof over, coming up into our combiner box, down to the AC disconnect, over to the main panel. And I'll have a video on exactly how to wire that and put everything together. If you're interested in that, leave me a comment below and I'll put a video together to help you guys out. I'll do everything I can to try to help because I know information is limited. So that's a little bit about what we got going on. It is a 9,990 watt solar system and producing a little bit less, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on in the video. We're not a battery operated system yet. We may be in the future, just not right now, because the funds don't allow for the battery cost and the switch cost that goes with putting battery in. It's very important that you get these faced in the right direction. Here we're facing south. You can get your tilt. There's a lot of things that come in play when you're designing your system. For us, this was the most efficient that we could do on top of that building. All right, so we want to get to point number one. Do not start your installation process for your solar system until you have gotten all of the proper approvals, whether that's with your planning and zoning, your local utility company, your county or state government, whatever it is. Be sure to get all the proper approvals. I'll give you an example of what happened on our system. This was supposed to be out in the yard, pretty far from the house, right? I wanted to in-ground mount and I wanted to be able to have a tilt system. Well, to do that with our planning and zoning, we had to get a special commission permit, which would take us 3 to 4 months to even be seen in front of a committee to get the approval. They said if we put it on a roof that we can get immediate approval. Because it was out in the field and it was over 400 square foot of panels, that committee had to meet and decide whether they were going to approve or disapprove that. This was automatically approved as long as our electrical diagram that we provide to planning and zoning for that permit met standards that they hold. We would get approved pretty much upon just handing on the paper. They review it and the same day we get approval. If we put it out in the field, it would have took us 4 months, and that approval could or could not have happened because you have to get approval from all of your neighbors that can see that system out in your field. So I didn't want to take that risk. I felt like that was the best way to go. So that's what we did. So that's why I'm saying do not start your install until you make sure that you have checked with all of the proper parties involved. Number two, be aware of what tax credit and tax rebate mean. If you are tax exempt and you do not pay taxes, you probably are not going to get the 26% federal tax rebate or credit that the government is given on solar. If you pay taxes and you don't pay enough, so let's say you went and sourced this out to a company that wanted to charge you $85,000 to $100,000 and you don't pay $26,000, I'm going to use the $100,000 mark as just easy math, and you don't pay $26,000 in income tax, you're not getting $26,000 back because you didn't pay that amount of tax throughout the year. So if you've paid $26,000 in taxes and you paid $100,000 for your system, then you may get your $26,000 back. That is a big misconception that's being pushed for people to go out and pay this big money for solar, that they feel like they're gonna get this big chunk of money back. But if they're not paying a big chunk of money to your taxes, you're not getting it back. So I wanna make sure, I'm not a tax accountant, but from all the research that I'm finding, you're not getting that 26% if you're not paying that 26% throughout the year. Let's say with your job, through your self-employment, wherever you're paying taxes. If you've paid it, you'll get it back. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. It's not you go out and spend this $30,000 or $15,000 and you think you're automatically going to get that money back. That's not how it seems to work. It only is if you're paying that amount of taxes. So on $50,000, you'd still have to pay $13,000 in taxes to get that $13,000 back. It seems kind of tricky, and it slides people in to hire a company to go out and build it because they feel like, oh, well, I'm just paying that company and I'm gonna get all that money back anyway. So it actually is saving me the time and the headache of having to design this system. If you do that, just please check into your tax credit versus tax rebate and whether you're going to get that 26% federal tax credit back. So I think it's a credit and it's not a rebate. But the way that, from my understanding, and we'll find out first of next year if we get any money back, although we build it ourselves, we're still eligible to get money if we paid money in taxes throughout the year. So just make sure to take a real big note, make that one a really important one, because I'm pretty sure you're trying to get this completed as soon as possible to get some type of federal rebate back. Also, all of your components that you source must be new, never used. All right, so that's important. You can buy them from somebody, from a distributor, as long as you can prove that they are a new item. Number 3, so be sure to be realistic and understand that you can't build a 1 kilowatt solar array and think it's going to offset your electrical bill 100%. Because if you're running a central air unit with electric heat and electric ranges and dryers, you're going to need a lot more than just 1 kilowatt. You're going to have to look at your utility bill, see what you use in kilowatt hours every month, and then go to a calculator, and I'll leave one in the description below that you can check out and help you determine what a good size unit would be for what you're trying to accomplish. Whether you want to just offset your bill by 25%, 75%, or 100% if you can, then that will be a great tool to start with. But just be realistic that the larger you go, of course, the more money it's going to cost you. We're sitting at 10 kilowatts, and I still don't believe that we'll offset our bill 100%. Actually, for us, we will never be able to offset our bill 100% because there is a meter fee that a lot of people don't talk about. So they'll put a net meter in. It's called a net meter, so that's a net meter. So they'll put that meter in, and then we are charged, I think, $35 a month just to have that meter. Even if we use no electricity, it's $35 a month. So when you're going grid tie, there will always be a fee if your utility company charges you a meter fee. Just keep that in mind. Be sure to size your system correctly. Use that calculator that will show you how much electricity it can produce. Compare it to what you're using over a year, and then you'll be able to determine the correct size of solar array for yourself. Number 4, do not be scared of failure, because you're probably going to have some failures through different stages of your build. Whether it's getting help and something happening, whether it's you doing something incorrectly, Always double check your work, triple check your work, quadruple check your work. Just make sure that you're doing it correctly, and reach out and find as much information as possible. But do not be scared of failure, because if you are, you will never start building your solar system. Number 5, source quality components. You'll see that we have Enphase, Eaton, and on the roof we have Iron Ridge racking system. The reason this is important, because when you go to build your solar package, you're going to want components that are compatible to that software that you're using. In my scenario, this is a Enphase Combiner Box 3. This is a Enphase electrical main disconnect. I'll put a link in the description below for this. I bought this off Amazon. And up on top, we have an Iron Ridge racking system that we bought off of CES, City Electric Supply, that they basically sent in freight. Didn't cost us anything because we bought a certain amount of material from them, so they were able to offer us free shipping. I'll put a link in the description below for that business as well. You can check it out if you're looking in for different components. They source all types of electrical components. So be sure to look for quality components when you're building your solar system, simply because you want good customer service. Iron Ridge, I've had nothing but positive things to say about them, and Enphase has helped me walk me through the process step by step. So good to Enphase, good to Iron Ridge, and good to City Electric Supply, because those guys all had fantastic customer service. Number 6, plan for delays. They're going to happen, especially the times that we're living in right now in 2022. Everything is delayed. I'll give you an example of what happened. We actually bought our racking system from a different company, not from City Electric Supply, because they didn't have a delay. But we didn't know about them before, and we bought it from a company somewhere else. I won't even say the name, but we waited 4 weeks. They were supposed to be to us in a week, so they had to get it, and then they were going to send it to us. The maximum would be a week, week and a half. 4 weeks later, I'll call them. They still don't have it. I canceled the order. There was no problem with the refund, so that was good. But that was the delay of getting this on a roof that delayed us 3 weeks, even to move forward with what we had to do throughout our process. So expect delays. That's not the only one, but I'll give you one more example. We were trying to find copper wire. Copper wire, at the time that we were looking for it, was impossible to find locally. Eventually, there was a company, a large box store, that got some wire in stock, and we got it, but it was a delay. There were several days of delays there as well. So just expect delays, and add that into your build time when you're working with your planning and zoning. Just kind of plan for some type of delay. Number 7, do not believe the hype in solar. And what I mean by the hype is that you're going to get paid to go solar. Incorrect, because there's added cost to other things when you do put a solar system on a roof. What do you think about insurance? Do you think that it's not going to raise your premium? Well, if you have it on a separate structure or an in-ground mount, those are 2 things to consider, and to understand your insurance premium will go up. Now, if you have it on a roof of your main structure of your house, that may not be the case. But on a separate structure, finding someone to give you proper insurance for wind and hail, our insurance is going to more than double, and in some cases triple. So keep that in mind, that not everything you do in solar is going to save you money. So if you're looking to do this solely just to offset your electrical bill, well, you may be adding the bill somewhere else. And number 8, always think safety. You're working with electricity, and safety should be your number 1 priority, whether it's your safety, someone else's safety, someone indirectly that may show up at your property. Always be thinking safety. On our boxes, everything is set, and I'm not recording a video for it. I'll be taking the locks and locking the main disconnect, our AC combiner box, and anywhere that someone can reach their hand in. So let's talk about the AC disconnect. We disconnect it, right? All right, we don't have any power coming from the solar panels down to the main box. The line they're coming in called the line, and the load that's going to the solar panels, well, the solar panels have been disconnected, but there is still power on that line. And if, say, a child or someone that didn't know what they were doing or just was curious and stuck their hand in that AC disconnect, then there's a lot of power there, and it can cause some serious damage, even death. So you want to make sure that always think safety. When you're climbing a roof, be sure to at least offer a harness if you're getting help, and tie-offs. Make sure you have scaffolding or a proper ladder for climbing, just different things. During this process, I might have damaged my hands a couple times, and I did get some metal in my eye, which thankfully I got out, but I didn't take the time to put on my safety glasses, and I paid for it for about a week. I had metal in my eye that was really irritating, and I don't know why I didn't. I always wear my glasses, and for some reason I didn't have them on that day, and I didn't take the time to go get them, and it caused me a week of pain. It could have been more serious if that metal would have got in, the center of my eyeball. So always think safety. Number 9, so depending on the layout of how your property is set up, whether you got a building like this, you could put it on your house, or you could put it out in a ground mount, determine what's best for you. Where are you gonna get the maximum amount of your money back, I guess you would say, if you're looking at this as a return on investment. We were gonna put it out in the field, and as I talked about earlier, that come down to special commissions. We couldn't put it on our house because this is facing west, and we decided once we built this building that it was going to go up here because it's facing dead south. So that was our best option, was to place it on the building. So we would have loved to have it out in a ground mount that had a variable tilt on it. So in the winter, we could tilt it the way we want. In the summer, we tilt it the way we want. Summer, it would be up like this. Winter, it would be kind of tilted more like this because the sun kind of goes over like that in the winter. Sun goes like this in the summer. So just think about that when you're trying to determine, oh, I would love to have it out in the ground. Well, your mounting system for that's going to cost you a lot more than what a roof mount will cost you. You can get that system through Iron Ridge for about little under half the cost of what it was going to cost us to put that in-ground mount system. Of course, I would have loved to have that. Had it not been for, the special permitting that we had to have, we'd have it out in the field as well. And number 10, now you want to determine what software to use when you're going to build out your electrical permit. And we used LYRASOLAR.com. We were able to build that solar permit package out for $85 and do it very quickly. I'm talking, you could probably build that solar array whole permit package in about an hour and a half. It says 15 minutes, but if you've never done it before, then just plan for a day, because I think I could build one now in about an hour and a half. In our scenario, I had to get a 3D print of this building and our house behind me, because this house is brand new and that building was brand new, so they didn't have any type of aerial of this. So I was able to take a drone up in the air, get an aerial, and then send that over to the company they recommended, which cost me $25 to get that 3D print model, and then import it into their software, and made things really simple. But I thought, oh man, I'm gonna have to get 3D prints of my my roofs. That's gonna cost me a lot of money and a lot of time. Well, they had that completed in a couple of hours, sent back over to me in the format that was needed, and I put it into, I think it's pronounced Lara. I was able to get that imported into that software and get this completed, and it was just a really simple process. And also, it might be good to start that before you do anything. I actually learned a little bit about the wiring components, so be sure to check that software out. I can't recommend any other software because that's the only one that I needed, and that's the one that I used, and it didn't cost me a lot of money. Now for a little bonus content. So let's talk about used, or I'm going to say very lightly used components versus brand new solar system. So if you went and bought a panel for $400, that depends on the size, the company, but say you paid $400 for this panel and you needed 20 of them, that's going to cost you $8,000. But if you can get that slightly used for $200 a panel, and you still got 23 years left on a panel. So let's say a company took it off their roof after 2 years, or out of a solar farm or something, and now it's still got 23 years left on that panel as far as their warranty. Usually it's 25 years on a panel. It's the reason I'm saying those numbers. But you save 50% right off the rip, rather than waiting on a possible tax credit back to you that you may or may not get, as I explained earlier in the video. But say you did get it, you're getting 26% back on a new item that you paid so much more for. Yeah, you get to say it's brand new, but it's only got 2 more years newer than what that one's been used before. Solar panels are designed to last for 25 years minimum if it's a reputable company. So it's very important to look at, where do I save my money? If I'm getting really good product, then should I buy it brand new, or could I buy it used and save that amount of money right now, and return on investment happens like that? So I'm going to give you an example. I bought brand new Enphase IQ7 Pluses off of eBay. So I made sure that these were never used before, but someone else had bought them. So what I did is have them give me the serial number off of them. I called Enphase to make sure that they have never been commissioned or turned on, because they're saying they were new. I need to make sure. And Enphase will tell you whether it's new or it's been commissioned or been retired, however you want to say it. Every one that I bought for 50% of the cost versus what it would have cost brand new at the time. I bought them for $100 or $99 or less, every one of them. And I bought 27 of them. Had I bought those brand new, rather than paying, let's just say $2,700, I would have paid more like $5,500, maybe even $6,000 for all of those. Somewhere around that, when you put taxes, shipping, and all that. On eBay, I was getting free shipping. I saved on shipping, I saved on taxes, I saved on a lot of things. I saved a ton, but not buying brand new, but I was still able to get a tax refund or a tax rebate on those, simply because they were new, never used. That's what it actually states in the tax rebate literature, is that it has to be new, never used. It doesn't say brand new from a distributor, all right? So just keep that in mind. And same thing with combiner box. I bought the combiner box off of OfferUp out of Florida. Never been commissioned, never been submitted to Enphase for hooking a system up. So it's brand new, or not, I can't say brand new, it's new, never used. And I got it for $300, and that combiner box would have cost you $650 if you bought it from, let's say, off of Enphase's website or somewhere around that ballpark. So I save 50%. And I'm still getting 26% from the tax credit, hopefully. We'll see how that works out at the beginning of next year. So if you like this type of video, or you learned something from it today, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. It really helps me out. Leave me a comment below if you got any questions. I'll be sure to respond to those as soon as I can. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends and family. I greatly appreciate it. And if you look more in the future, we'll be talking a lot more about solar. I do like talking about my Massey Ferguson and my bad boy mower also, so stick with me. I'll catch you in the next one.